Hello there, this is Coach Sammy33, and we got a surprise last night. The coach scores were released, something that I woke up to. Pretty cool to see. And I talked about this on stream a little bit last night. I kind of reviewed it, but I just wanted to look at it again for video's sake. So, going off of the contract details, it's a 40-40-20 system. So, just explaining, no, I explained this last year, but we'll explain it again here. 100 points. That is what you are graded on. You have the potential to get more than 100, but 40 for participation, 40 for your coach reports, 20 for season success, and then you can get bonus points here and in other ways that equals 100, and then you have to match the team rating. So, for example, Florida State's an 85. I have to score a B, essentially 85 out of 100 in order to keep my team. If I do not reach that, I am fired. Or if I had this team for more than one season, I could build the bank. You can bank up to a total of 5 points that carries over. If you need to use it, you can, but you can only use it to keep a team. You can't use it to go into the draft to add to your score. So, with that said, let's start out with the 40 participation. So, you've got the polls, all the credit is there. The coach reports, there's 12, obviously 12 games. All are there. Entering stats, all are there. And then a recap. So it takes 5 recaps. They cover for missing something up here. And there's a 7-day grace period. So for example, when I played the Georgia Tech game, after the stats are put in, you have 7 days in order to do a recap. And for that matter, your coach report. If you do not do it in time, it does not count. So you can see I am missing a couple of days here, or a couple of games here. That's fine. These are all extra credit. So I got 40 out of 40. So 40% achieved. Coach reports. It's broken down into a couple of categories: offense, defense, realism. So these are the things that we're grading our opponents on. Offense, the play and formation variety. Are they mixing up their play call? Same thing defensively, defensive play and formation variety. It's a little different in terms of defensive play because on offense, there's all kinds of things you can call an option, a power run, a different route combinations on a pass play, a play action pass play. There's so many different things you can call on offense. It's easier to vary that. Defensively, you just don't want to make, I will admit, I am more of a zone guy, but I try to mix up the zone calls. I mix in zone blitzes. I'll run man to man. There's limitations to what you can do defensively. You just try to make sure that you're mixing up the calls, at the very least, mixing up the formation. Coach realism. Are you punting when you should be punting? Are you going for play actions when you should? Are you moving with the quarterback when you should, is in terms of being pressured, or, I'm flushed out the pocket, I'm moving. Or there's 8 guys in coverage, there's only 3 men rushing, no one is open, there's no pressure, there's no spy. They're choosing not to count the quarterback takeoff. Just basically trying not to, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the knows and follows NDL rules. You don't want to do anything cheap. Basically, that's just the gist of the story. Don't do anything cheap. And then an overall grade. So 1 is the lowest you can be given. 5 is the highest. If you're giving anything lower than a 5, you should be giving feedback. Truthfully, if you're probably giving lower than a 4, you should have had a conversation with the coach during the game, or at least right after the game. How that conversation goes, make it take out. But the highest scores drop, your lowest scores drop, and then the average from there is what you get. So you can see I've got all 25. Definitely makes me happy. That's the goal. I will love to win, but I care more about my coach reports than I do about winning. I try to vary my calls as much as I can. Yes, we all have money plays. I don't want to use money plays, such a nasty term. but we have our go-to plays that we like as individuals that'll differ. There's certain plays I like to call. There's certain route combinations I like to call in a third down or in the fourth quarter. Just trying to make sure that I'm not always doing the same thing on third down or always doing the same thing defensively on third down. Just try to mix it up. So you can see UF, that was UMass, all fives. GG who looked the season. This would be Coach IROC because we always play. Without happy to have made the game competitive without the usual BS of our game. Our games always tend to have those weird, odd plays that make us question what is going on. Block M, all fives, great game. El Jefe, big kid. He's like, man, you're old enough to be my dad. Wow, like that kind of hurt. But he's not wrong. That makes me sad. But anyway, perfect mix-up. Nothing I would say needs to be different. Love the game we had, and I hope we continue to play in this rivalry game. Well, it looks like he's staying at Clemson. We'll see about me in a minute. Always a pleasure, minus the loss. Yeah, me and Pat have had some interesting games last game cycle. I don't know who this is, obviously, because they're just fives. Great game. Same with some great play calls on both sides of the ball. Made a great comeback. Look forward to playing next season. I'm not sure if Dealer will get to stay at Miami. I hope so, but I'm not sure if he has enough points. I feel like I read something that he just fell short. We'll have to see. Well played, fun game. Tough breaks in this one. Way to hang in and try to turn around. Looking forward to future matchups. I think you're a great coach and one of my favorites in the league. Right. Oh, that made me feel good. If you whoop my ass, but that's okay. But that was from Notre Dame, and then all five. See you next season for part 2. Obviously, he's planning on staying with Mr. Lagway. So you can see total reports, total games, total points. So it would take ideally 10, and then you get up to 250. We got the full 40, so we have 80. So season success, you only need 5 of the points. So technically in season success, there's 100 points that were scored on, but getting 100 means you get 20. So you have to think about it a little bit different. Think of it like, taking a class, it's an exam. That's worth 20% of your grade, but it's scored on a scale of 0 to 100. So the win goal. If your team has a higher team rating by 2 or more, then you're expected to win. So add 1 to your win goal. For example, Boston College. If it's equal or within plus or minus 2, it's 0.5. If you have a team rating that's 2 or more under, aka Miami, it is 0. So it's basically house money. So you add it up at the end, 5.5. If you have a half, it rounds up to 6. It can't be lower than 2. That's the minimum. It can't be higher than 10. That's the max. So we had a win goal of 5.5. And you can see in terms of wins, does not count bowl games. We won 8. So 8, you got the 40 points for that. Then it's 30 points for conference goals. And for Florida State, it was broken down into 2 parts. Making a bowl game, which means go 6-6 overall, and then win 4 conference games. Did that. We did both, as a matter of fact. So we got 30 points there. Rivalry games, the final 30. This is an interesting one because if you only have 1, it's 30 points. Could be really hurtful to lose. If you have 2, it's 15. If you have 3, it's 10. I think the most you can have is 4. It's 7.5 apiece. You can actually, this was brought up on stream, you can schedule a team that is a rival out of conference and have that added to your coach contract, so to speak. So, for example, Nebraska, their only rival would be Iowa in the Big Ten. But if you played Oklahoma out of conference, that adds both to Nebraska's rival game, as an additional rival, and the same for Oklahoma. So I would assume Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State. Maybe wrong. I know for sure they played Texas. So it would just add another rival so that it divvies up the points a little more, so it's fewer points for each game. You can see here we won one. We beat Miami. We lost to Clemson and Florida, so we only got 10. So if you're doing the math, we're at 80 points right now. So you have to come up with some bonus points here to make up 20 in order to get 100. Road wins is 2 points per win. We had five. That's 10 points. Yeah, 90 points right there. Beat ranked while ranked. Well, we weren't really ranked for long. We kind of bounced. I think we bounced back in after beating Miami. It then fell back out. Beat ranked while unranked. One win, Miami, 95 points. Wins over win goal. Now, this is where things are good because when I had New Mexico, I think the win goal was half. And then I won 10 games. So, yeah, 7 extra points helped 8 ton plus road win. So, 3 wins here, 1 point per win. That makes 98 points. And then bowl win or bowl game. 4 points if you qualify, 6 points if you win 1. So you can see down here 104. We didn't make the college football playoff. So season success, we scored 104 out of 100. Thus, we got 20 points. And then for NDL media, 2 points. I told Midler, like, I don't necessarily care about the points. Like, I do the stuff that I do for the media team just for the sake of doing it. I enjoy doing it. So for me, my score is actually a 100. But overall, you can see how it breaks down. So your participation is 40, your coach report's 40. That's what I got. Season success is 20, but you can score higher there. So 20.8 is the only section you can score higher. And then admin bonus and bank. So I don't have any bank points coming in because I did not have Florida State. But now you see the team rating is an 85. I scored a 102. Again, the max bank is 5 points. So I have a full bank going into the next season if I opt to keep them. And that is what I plan on doing. I've talked about this on the Outliers and I've talked with some in private. I would like to stay at Florida State. That was one of the reasons I picked them with the intent on keeping them for more than one season. So we're going to click stay at current school. And that should update at the bottom. Current decision, keep current. So that's the plan. You're able to change as the draft gets closer. We know the game will be out in less than 24 hours. I'll get a chance to play with them, look at abilities, get a deeper dive into what I'm actually keeping. I've seen enough. I look forward to talking about that in an upcoming vid, but the plan is to stay at Florida State for another season. I know I have to bank and we'll go from there, but that is how the coach contract breaks down. If I enter the draft, then I would be sorted with all the teams that had this option. They would be considered day one picks. Anyone that's able to keep their team and opts to enter the draft is day one. If I got down to the section and I did not score high enough, I would in theory be fired, quote. So I would enter day 2 of the draft, and then based off of this score, we'd all be sorted, and then like day 1 is sorted from highest score to lowest score. And then day 2 is sorted from highest score to lowest score. With the addition of new coaches, they go to the back of the draft. So we're planning on staying. I'm very happy. Of course, the thing I'm always happiest about is coach report. Try to play as clean a game as possible. And participation, just making sure that I don't miss things. I've had a couple of close calls with polls, but so far, I'm really happy with this coach contract, the result, and we'll see what happens for next season.